began in 2003. The inspiration was I have twin boys, Cord and Eric. Eric was diagnosed with diabetes at 3. He was diagnosed with leukemia at 3.5. And as we were finishing Eric's treatment, which was all through UCSF, his mother was diagnosed with mesothelioma. And eventually she succumbed to mesothelioma, which is incurable to this day.
He started all this because I was a survivor of leukemia, and he knew that after my mom had passed, that he wanted to honor her and her memory and start something that would give back.
2 years after that, I went to the doctors at UCSF and I said, how can I make the biggest impact? The first part was getting the right people together, and very fortunate that the people at UCSF were the superstars.
We're extremely fortunate to have Dr. Lowe doing the research that she does and being able to see the results that have occurred with the money that we've been able to give her is incredible.
Pediatric cancer research really remains in heavy need of funding. And so the money that Jeff has supplied and other donors have provided have really allowed growth and development for things that we can't actually get funded with grants because it's too risky. But it's a great idea. And that's really where this sort of cutting edge stuff happens.
Here we have the scientific research in play, so now we've got that part. So how can I tie this together with the foundation's funds to be able to treat the whole patient? First time I went into one of the rooms, Oliver was there, so I stood in the corner and I, for the first time, lost it. This is unbelievable.
They saw the power of music therapy, and our relationship is what built the UCSF program as our flagship. In a music therapy session, the music tangibly makes a profound impact on the patient's psychological state, on their physical state, on their emotional state. There are moments when the patient is in the music. So they're dropping down some of their barriers. That's when your breakthrough moments happen in therapy.
For my kids who don't have language, they can still express themselves in different ways through music. There's a patient who is typically pretty low responsiveness, and I strummed maybe one chord on the guitar and her eyes opened wide and she sat up and she had this big smile on her face, and it warms your heart.
There's also a science behind it, right? This is not just a feel-good support service. We're really pushing the frontier to say, this does lower anxiety. This does make the experience less traumatic. This does have physiologic impact on our patients, and I'm really proud that children's hospitals are leading that.
Oh, I went on a night to the San Francisco Zoo, where they all asked for you. The cow asked and the cat asked and the frog asked for you.
I'm astounded on a daily basis how music can penetrate this really often traumatic experience of being in the hospital and release something beautiful, or to ease pain in a way that no medicine has been able to touch.
That medical environment kind of fades away around them, and what comes into focus is the drums, the keyboard, the computer, the recording equipment, and that focus allows for smiles, happiness, and it allows for relaxation.
We learned to walk with rhythm. We learned language by songs. And so our music therapists may use rhythm as a way for kids to pattern walking.
My philosophy with music therapy is truly centered around family-centered care. So I don't just work with the patient, because a hospitalization doesn't just affect the patient, it affects the entire family unit.
We have this program that's very popular that our music therapist Brianna started, called Ukulele for Dads. It was something that they found in themselves that they could play to their child, a song that they learned that they never thought they could do that before.
Right.
go. We're in that back studio again.
Alright, let's go.
We have recording projects with the kids. We have the tools to record it great, add a lot of cool sounds, produce it onto a CD, mix it, master it. And they take that as this evidence of their experience, and they're stronger for it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's going to be an awesome way to end it.
I've seen the benefit to my patients, I've seen the benefit to my families, I've seen the impact on my staff, and I think we've just begun to scratch the surface of understanding how important music is in the clinical environment. It would be hard to imagine a world-class children's hospital without a music therapy program these days. It's that important.
Okay, here we are. Now, we have the trifecta. Okay, we got the doctors, we have the nurses, we have the music therapists. So I got to take this to another level. And that's when I met Kelly Carroll, and she came up from UCLA.
Jeff and I got together, and it was one of those moments that you go, wow, you just appeared practically on my doorstep and you just want to fund a music therapy program. But man, he did. And what they have helped us create is phenomenal.
It is the biggest game changer that has happened in my career here. And their voices, by the way, oh my gosh. I mean, they have me in tears all the time.
We focus on the core of what makes us all human. We've worked with patients who are completely neurologically devastated. Maybe they've had MRIs that show really unpromising results. But in our music therapy sessions, we see a response. It's able to create new neural pathways and retrain parts of the brain that were previously damaged.
I'm always recommending music therapy. It can decrease the catecholamines, the sympathetics. So basically, it helps relax the patient. And so rather than giving some opiate or some Ativan or whatever, bringing in music therapy, you really can help. I think every patient should have it.
When we work with our older kids too, what we do is we turn to the music that they already like. And next thing you know, they're like coming up with a drum groove, they're feeling super empowered and inspired, and they wrote this song in a session and they're super proud of it.
We use music therapy a lot at the end of life when we remove breathing tubes to allow kids to die with their families around them with peace and with solace, or to record heartbeats and then put remarkable music songs the families sing over it when we have the heartbeats as the beat. It's unbelievable. There are no words for it.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star,
Jeff Peterson has supported and really created these two amazing programs at UCSF and UCLA. We've also just funded the Great Ormond Children's Hospital in London with their first music therapist.
We're also very proud that we were able to help Stanford establish a music therapy program. So essentially now we're providing music therapy for over 900 beds across 3 major hospitals.
Our mission is to create, grow, and expand these programs along with leukemia research. We're redefining the standard of pediatric medical care to the point that music therapy is integrated in what is expected when a child is going through a hospitalization.
Our goal is to sustain this program over the next 10 years. I don't want one of these little guys to not have the opportunity to receive music therapy. And this is now the whole package, not just music therapy, but research and the science. I want people to join us, and I'll guarantee them they're going to participate in something that's going to have an impact on their lives.